Hello and good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. As we head into the evening tonight, we have a few rain showers that are exiting our area. Thunderstorms aplenty in the Pacific Northwest and in Texas. We're going to take a look at our weather as it's going to be changing significantly heading into your weekend. Not one, but two separate snow events for the northern plains. And while we're not in the bullseye of either, I'll have the latest on what you can expect coming up now on Hutch's Weather.
Now, a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, thanks for watching. Here is a broad brush view of what's going on across the nation. We had a few showers, all those clouds you saw drifting through the valley today. Some rain showers making their way out of South Dakota into southern Minnesota. Meanwhile, in Texas, we do have some thunderstorms, very wet rain going on down there. That's the kind that really is soaking things up. It's been sitting there for the better part of the day, and it continues and will be there for some time as well. And in the Pacific Northwest, there's a thunderstorm watch. This does not happen every day. We have stout thunderstorms rocking their way through the, all the areas of the Pacific Northwest, from Portland and Salem right up into Olympia. These are all drifting to the north and northeast right now with some heavy rain. The thunderstorm watch lasts for another hour or so. In our area, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Point South, seeing a few of these sprinkles of rain working their way through. Brenda, hi. Thanks for joining me. If you're watching on the YouTube channel like Candy is, thanks a lot. Drop me a note. Let me know where you're watching from. And drop me a note if there's anything at all you have a question about regarding our weather. Now, let's take a look at our temperatures across the area today. Was nice, as we saw a nice improvement in those readings. Here is a look at your current readings. You can still clearly define the area between the cool pool, where we sit, and the very mild weather that hit the 70s today out in places like Glendive, Montana. Good evening to you, and thanks for watching, Brenda. Appreciate you joining. Now, as you take a look up to the north, we have 30s up there as we're melting some snow today. 37 for our viewers out there in the areas near Wadena. We do have 34 for Boston. Bemidji, 36 degrees right now. Minneapolis, 48 the temperature, and off to the west, it's cooling off quickly in Dickinson after beautiful high temperatures today. And take a look at the change in temperature that we saw across the region. Here's a look at our highs that we saw in the northern plains today from the North Dakota Agricultural Network. Look at the heat in the banana, orange, and yellow down here, near 70 degrees as we look in places like Rame, Marmarth, Henninger, and in southwest North Dakota. Beach was mighty beachy out there with Sidney at 62 degrees today. Beach was 66. Bismarck 55 degrees, 44 Minot. Then, hey, we hit 47 degrees in the Fargo area today. 46 in Grand Forks as we're starting to rid the area of some snow. Now, a lot of you have asked today. I will address it. CCJ Johnson in Richland County checking in. Good to have you on board, Nicole. Thanks for watching in Barnes County. Oh, look at those temperatures today in Barnes County, low to mid 40s there. Let's take a look at the clouds. Some of you have been asking about this aurora, and I want to take a moment and share with you some of your photos of incredible displays of the aurora borealis over the last few days. Now, on hutchesweather.com, up at the top, you can click on the viewer pics, and up above my noggin, oh, there, right. It's the upload button. That's where you go ahead and press them to upload these views. Oh my goodness, check this out in Bemidji. Oh my gosh, just warms the heart seeing that. And look at this, the swirls taking place and these shots of light, the different colors, they're all there. Heidi capturing this. Thank you, number one, for uploading your photos and sharing them with all of us. And thank you, number two, well, for just going out there and being committed to standing outside at the depths of night. Sometimes there's nothing happening, and all of a sudden, we will go over the aurora forecast tonight for the Northern Plains. We'll talk about that. Gene, thank you. If I didn't know better, I'd say it's starting to be a lot like spring here in the valley. It seems like it, but we're going to get a little reminder that winter just doesn't want to be done quite yet. Nathan, thanks for watching on the Facebook channel. Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what, Leora, good to have you on from St. Hilaire. Always a pleasure to have you on board. The weather the next few days is going to be challenging. Let's see if we'll have a chance at seeing any more of these northern lights. But first, I want to share a few more from Monaga. Look at this. How about that? And mingling with the clouds as well, because we've been battling those. Alyssa, thank you so very, very much for sharing your sights of Minnesota skies. And speaking of that, It's unbelievable. It's almost as if somebody's just casting this illusion on the sky here in the northern plains. Alyssa capturing this near Managa as well. Very deep colors. And you know, the gases in the atmosphere, as they are excited by the solar wind and the magnetic field interactions with the solar wind coming from the sun and our Earth's own geomagnetic field around it, well, we get those gases in the upper atmosphere expelling light. That's right. And so what happens is we get different gases and they do expel different colors. So we have the greens and the reds, and we don't always get a chance to see that. Thank you for watching. Gary Anderson from Melbourne, Florida. How's the weather in Melbourne lately? And if you have a question about Florida, I'd be happy to go over it. But I'm looking out here. It looks like a whole lot of nothing going on in Florida as far as the radar is concerned right now. Let's take a look. Are you enjoying these pictures of the northern plains and the aurora? Check this one out from Twin Valley, Minnesota, too. Most of these coming from the last couple of days. I had questions, Melissa Smith here and others. Is there a chance of the northern lights tonight? And there is, as Pedro has his phone handy because he wants to have Dad out, take him outdoors and check out these northern lights. So let's talk that first. The best thing and first thing we need to talk about here is going to be our cloud cover. So let's take a quick look at that here on Hutch's weather. Now, this is a visible satellite imagery mixed in with a little bit of hocus pocus and the infrared. So it kind of takes over overnight, but we do have along that boundary between the warm air down here in southwestern North Dakota and the cool pool up here where we are sitting. Right? It's always cool up here in Fargo and Grand Forks. Well, we take a look at that along that boundary. That's where we have the showers of rain moving through South Dakota. The thicker clouds are down here, down in Iowa, and those are likely producing some more heavy rain showers and spotty showers across southern Minnesota, likely where we see the blue colors. There's a fairly thick batch of clouds moving out of the oil patch across Lake Sakakawea and drifting over the I-94 corridor. See the lights here? Isn't that cool? What town do you suppose that is? Go ahead and drop an answer on there. Yeah, you can guess this one. That's Fargo. I'll let you know that. So watching from Barnes County, I can see it. Why does it look like New York City over there? Anybody have a guess? Drop it in the comments below. All right, let me see if I've got any, and then we'll go on to your forecast for the aurora, and we're going to look at something. I'll try to pass along a little tool that you can use when you're looking to see if the northern lights will be out. I am not too high on the probability of northern lights, but again, Managa, Grand Forks, Crookston, all of northern Minnesota looking high and dry and clear as far as that goes. Now, there's a couple of things that we'll look at, but number one, I'm going to pull up a display on my computer here that's from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's arm, and this is the space weather portion. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is kind of cool. And I'll give you the URL. You can go to www.swpc, SW, Space Weather Prediction Center, swpc.noaa, NOAA, .gov. Okay, and that's the site that we're using here. Now on this particular site, let me make sure it's going to work okay for us. Yeah, I can scroll through a couple of things. Many of you are used to seeing some displays that look something similar to this, and the red areas show where there's a high probability of seeing some northern lights, and then there's a viewing line that comes right down through our area, and it looks like for the area tonight the aurora should have a good chance. But here's why I'm down on it. There's a few other numbers that we can look at to take into advisement, if you will, as whether it's going to be a good night to go looking. And one of the things that you can look at on this is their forecast, and it's a 30-minute forecast. So you got to keep in mind that sometimes this stuff doesn't work out to be what you would expect. Now, K-index. This is something that a lot of folks want to see. And when we get numbers over 4 or 5, so in the green here, usually anything under 3, the chances of seeing northern lights here in North Dakota, South Dakota, northern Minnesota, Montana, not very good. But when it sneaks up to 3 and above, that's when the chances are better. Look where we've been the past couple of nights here and last night overnight. Big time. We're looking at digits there. We're in the 5 to 7 category, okay? And now we're stepping down from that as far as the K-index goes. So we still have some very strong geomagnetic interactions going on between the solar wind and our planet's magnetic field over it. But basically what we're seeing is a step down in that. Here's the 3-day forecast, and these numbers are for the KP index as we go through the rest of the day here on the 27th. Notice that we go down from the 6 down to the 5, down to the 4 here as we head toward the end of the day. This is dinner time. It is now the 27th, And as we go in towards 6Z, it really starts coming down. So after midnight. So after midnight, the KP index starts decreasing a bit. Now 4 is still a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, I saw that post, Melissa, and I had to use it. It's one of my favorite movies. So there is a chance of the Northern Lights tonight, but that's not it. That's not the only thing. I want to share with you another number that can kind of tell us a little bit. Satellites out in space can measure different portions of the magnetic field, and basically before we get a chance to see it here on Earth, it can give us a heads up to when the numbers are appropriate. And to do that, you want to come up here and take a look at some of their data. I'll point out one data piece that I've heard from people who like to watch the Northern Lights, because you can go out there with a KP index of 6 and just see nothing. And one of the numbers that has to be just right is called the flux. So what we'll look at here is, let's see if I can find it. There's a magnet reports. I don't want the models. Here we go. Let's just go to the. Okay, here we go. So this is one instrument. Let me go back. I'm sorry. I'm trying to. I should have just preloaded the looking for BZ. Let's go here. Not able to see those numbers yet. Okay. I'm sure if you're at home, you're typing madly. Hutch, it's right here. There's the forecast pages. There's that. Oh, maybe I just got onto the wrong thing. Well, I may have to load this up here in another minute, but there's the models. I don't know why I can't find this. Oh, maybe it's on the dashboards here. Aurora dashboard. There we go. Okay. Yep, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, let's go here. This is the 3-day forecast, but it doesn't have the BZ on there. That they can't predict that. That's just something they measure. Oh, it's got to be right here. Real-time solar wind. That's what I'm looking for. Real-time solar wind. I'm sorry. Too many choices. It's like going to the menu that has one item on the menu. Okay, so real-time solar wind is one of the very helpful things. On this top graph here, there's a number in red called BZ. When the BZ here on the red trace is negative, that is a better chance at seeing the Northern Lights. So we can have a KP index that's very, very high, and we might expect them to happen, and we could still end up seeing nothing. But when you look at this trace, we're all the way over here now. So the pictures that many of you sent in were from activity like this, where the BZ was going negative and down negative. So when that number drops down, and we've seen a few negative drops, the farther negative it is, the better it is, and the better chance there is of seeing the Northern Lights. And the more negative it goes, then we may even see them in some southern latitudes as well. So keep in mind, you can use this real-time solar wind. Make a note, Hutch. I should save this page. I do have the page saved, but not this particular unit. And again, as we look here, we're seeing more of the measurements in red that are above this black line, above 0. So those are positive values of BZ, and we would rather have negative values of BZ, and they haven't gone down. So that's my 2 cents on that. Thanks for playing along with me there and being so patient with me while I tried to find that. So now let's talk a little bit about the forecast. And again, on hutchesweather.com, you can always get the latest forecasts and videos right here. But you can also check out road conditions, snowfall amounts, and all of your viewer pictures right here. And that's a good tool for you when it comes to the weather. Now let's take a look at this forecast. And one thing I did want to show tonight, because I had another question a little bit earlier, was about the long range forecast. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the temperatures across the nation over the next few days here. And the reds are the warm colors. And we sit on this boundary here like I was showing you moments ago, and that cool pool is up to the north and east. So that's really kind of keeping us from getting too warm up there. Aurora in our area tonight, no luck. Jerry, that was the question. Jerry, it doesn't look like it's as good of a chance as it was last night. That was my consensus there. It's not 0, but the numbers we were just looking at We're not as negative, which is bad for northern lights. So the chances of seeing them not quite as good. Hutch, should I keep my winter snow tires on for a few more weeks? You know, it never hurts in these parts. I'll tell you what, because we can get some crazy and wild weather around here. So now let's take a look at this model of temperatures. Let's look just at temperatures because we're going to have some wild weather as we close out this month and head into the new one. Now, the next 24 hours, we get the red temperatures starting to really jump into the eastern third of North Dakota. We stay cooler up north. This is south winds ahead of a low pressure system moving out of Calgary, Alberta Clipper. South winds warm us during the day on Friday. And there it is. And then by the afternoon and evening hours, here comes the cold pool sinking its way down. So we'll have some big time changes Friday. This Alberta Clipper is going to bring a chance of snow and ice, and I'll show you where here, mainly up to the north. So yeah, now as we take a look as we go through, we stay on the cool side on Saturday as a Colorado low lifts out, and that moves through and brings another shot of snow to parts of South Dakota, Minnesota, and the southern Red River Valley. Look at this cold nonsense up here pooling in Manitoba and all the way out towards Ontario as well. These areas are going to remain cool, and we start into the work week next week on a cool note, and we're going to stay there. We're not going to see the return of the reds until we get late next week as well. So, ooh, white hot. That's mighty hot. There's a chance for some warmer weather as we get into the third of the month. Now let's turn on and I'll look at the future radar with this particular map, and it's going to show a different story. Oopsies. I guess I clicked on something that didn't work out. So let's go back and take a look here at the hour by hour forecast with regards to our unsettled weather that is coming our way. Here we go. As we ship through, this is Friday. Here's your Alberta Clipper, snow and ice along the international border as we go through first thing in the morning. Then in the afternoon, see this band of snow? This is new. A band of heavy snow along this boundary here is going to be possible according to this particular model. So keep that in mind. The other thing I want to throw a big old grain of salt on this. This is a mid-model run, and I like to say it that way because basically we launch weather balloons at midnight and at noon in Greenwich Mean Time, and that means that only twice a day do we launch weather balloons. This model was run off data that wasn't using weather balloon data, so I don't put as much weight in this 18Z or 6Z model runs as I do on the 0Z and the 12Z. That said, though, this track looks to be pretty much straight through South Dakota with the snow band moving through the international border and northern Minnesota and northern North Dakota, and there will be accumulating ice with that. Then look at this. On the heels of Storm 1 is a Colorado low. So this one develops, moves into the Central Plains. This one is a little farther south than it was on the last run. And again, this model run I don't necessarily pay as much attention to, so keep that in mind. So we have two storms working their way through. This is before we even get through with the weekend. David, hi, from hot Tucson, Arizona. Hope those saguaros are treating y'all well down there. I just had a chance to visit and see a couple of those cactiuses as we went through. Now, cold high pressure moves in. That's why we stay cold in the early part of next week. Then look at this. South winds blowing more moist air over the top of some mighty cool stuff, and we could have some winter weather returning to our area as we go into April, and this is no fools. A couple of models are showing this. So now we're going to sneak over and look at the European model and show you, oh, we do have to be concerned there too. Now this one, we'll keep it on the 12Z model run and show you that our Alberta Clipper out of Alberta will impact our northern counties, and there will be that icing threat morning through early afternoon. Then it's cold enough for snow throughout the region. Here comes the Colorado low. Now the European model has a more northerly track to this, impacting southeasternmost North Dakota with lighter snow than our neighbors to the east and to the south. So there will be a heavy band of snow on the I-29 corridor through South Dakota and on the I-94 corridor through there as well. Aurora tonight, Bonnie says no. Let's see if we've got any other questions. April, wow, yeah, April Fools. Now let's take a look at what the European model says as we cross into April. Another Colorado low, throwing moisture up. I said throw up, but that's what's happening here. Throwing moist air up from the Gulf, and that's going to bring that moist air through the Central Plains, and it's going to lob it over the top of this cool air. Look at this storm. This is the European model. Hutch likes this model. But I don't like what I'm looking at here, folks, because if I zoom into the northern plains on this and we get into more of a regional view in this timeline as we begin the new month here, Oh my goodness. Here's April Fool's Day. And it looks all pretty good until all of a sudden, shazam! Look at that. Heavy band of snow, convective snow. So possibly thunder, sleet, some thunder. A lot of wind with this right across I-94 corridor going into the 1st and 2nd. So not necessarily a direct strike for Fargo, not necessarily a direct strike for Grand Forks, but our region will be in the path of another one. What's up, Deb? Good to have you on board. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your comments, and thank you very much. Melissa says Northern Lights are just starting. If you have clear skies, get out and see them. Okay, so I don't have clear skies, but you want to see them? Do you want to see if we can see them? Let's see if we can see them from a fancy place that Hutch likes to look at. So if you would give me just one more moment to load up a bookmarked page here, then we will take a look at what we have over here. Where'd it go? Okay, so it is... All right, looking for it. Here we go. All right. I'm getting this new page loaded up for us so we can check and see. See if we can see them together. Okay, so the University of North Dakota has cameras that operate. I'm just going to see if they're live. And let's see if we've got any live ones going on here. And live. And streamed 14 hours ago. Let me see if this one is still live. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. All right, so we can't use the UND camera right now, but it should be. Let's see. So UND does have a pair of cameras up there, and they the physics and astrophysics department. I'll go ahead and show you their page just so you can bookmark this one too, because it's a really good and handy one to have if you are in search of what's going on in the skies. So you go to YouTube and you search North Dakota dual aurora cams, and this would be when they're streaming live. A vision of what's going on there. So let me see. I'll try again and see if they have anything going on live. Or is it all Memorex live latest? It looks like 14 hours ago was the most recent that I'm seeing there. So they are not streaming now to the best of my knowledge. Let's see. This says the 26th at 6:44. So that wasn't that long ago. Let's see here. Let's scoot it up a little bit. There we go. So we definitely have the sun setting there at the end of the day. There are some clear skies up there, but then it's shut down. So the live looks like it's off right now, and it may come back a little bit later tonight. But it's a great resource to check and see if those northern lights are on. But thank you, Melissa, for the heads up. And indeed, we appreciate that. If you're interested in the forecast now, I've talked a lot about all this fun extracurricular stuff we have going on around our region, but it's sure fun living in the northern plains, is it not? All right. How about the 11-day outlook? Deb is asking about an 11-day outlook. Hutch sticks to 7, and the reason behind that is because our forecast models and our meteorological brains can really only see out and get consistent with the forecast about the 4 or 5 days. After that, our accuracy tends to drop off a little bit. So I'm sticking with 7 days here on Hutch's weather. So I appreciate that. Lynn says, hi, Hutch, watching from Alvarado, heading to Indiana. Keep it nice. Oh, it's looking pretty nice for now, but the weekend brings a different story. We'll look at how we're impacted Friday with ice and Saturday with snow in our region. 31 in the morning here in the FM area. I think we'll have mostly clear skies except for along that narrow band that we've seen clouds forming the last couple of days from the oil patch in Williston right down towards southeast North Dakota. That trend looks to continue. As for your day tomorrow, afternoon temperatures look like this. Oh my gosh, that's Miles City, Montana with 80 degrees. We'll be riding horses out there. 64 in Dickinson, and how about 61 in Bismarck? Now, Minot, not too bad at 55 degrees, and we'll be near that in the Fargo-Moorhead area, as well as Jamestown, Valley City. Down to the south, we'll be closer to a 60 burger in places like Gwinner, Hankinson, and if you're heading out towards the Wheaton area, you also have a good shot at close to 60 degrees. Fergus Falls will be in those mid and upper 50s. You go north, where we have that snow, we're finally going to kiss 50 degrees in Grand Forks as we get some warming going on and some disappearance of the snow around the area. 40 degrees in Hallock and 32 on the shores of the lake, the big lake, Lake of the Woods. So that's your day tomorrow. 7-day planner. I have highlighted in red Friday as well now because that Alberta Clipper is going to impact mainly parts of Canada and southern Manitoba. And our northern counties will see measurable snow, but it looks like there's going to be measurable ice as well. And that ice could be a problem. Then Friday in Fargo, we'll have a chance at sneaking up into the low to mid 50s before the temperatures start falling in the afternoon. So I should have a falling arrow here because afternoon temperatures and north winds from this little clipper will move through. Then that's going to lead to not this snow on Saturday, a separate system. So we'll get a little bit of a break and then boom, Saturday, mainly afternoon and evening, late in the day, coming from Colorado. A Colorado low moves through and there'll be a chance for some pretty heavy snow across our region. South Dakota and southern Minnesota, though, will be seeing the brunt of that. We'll stay cool, but climb out of it a bit into the early part of next week. And then we hit April, and it looks like we're going to see some pretty wild weather to start the month as well. But that's far enough out that there are a lot of questions as to the track and timing of those particular systems. That's another Colorado low impacting us with snow. Let's stick with system number 1, 2, and 3 and 4. We'll stick with system number 1. On Friday, a mix along the international border, along and north of Highway 2, from Devil's Lake and Minot all the way out to the oil patch. And look at this, northeast Montana on Highway 2. If you're in Poplar, Wolf Point, Brockton, Culbertson, you guys could see some freezing drizzle making its way through as we start your day on Friday. To the north of that, and in particular along the border counties with Canada there, international border counties could get some measurable snow. Here in Fargo, we're in this red dashed line area. That's the warm area. We're going to enjoy some warm temperatures in the first half of the day, and then it changes. Here is a look at some spotty ice out there as we go through the morning hours and into the early afternoon hours. But I want to point out, out in the Arrowhead of Minnesota, the ice accumulation could be significant, and it could be over 1/10 of an inch. And that has prompted the National Weather Service to issue a winter storm watch in the Arrowhead. So if you're looking with me at this, it's basically the Arrowhead from Duluth and up the North Shore. A winter storm watch is in effect for that particular area for ice and for snow. So how about snow accumulation with the Friday event? We're just taking apart this Friday event. Brandon and Winnipeg will get several centimeters of snow. And if these numbers are right in inches, you take that by 2.5, and that's how many centimeters you're going to get. So you're talking about 15 to 18 centimeters of snow, not out of the question up there in Winnipeg. Now, there's going to be a quick ramp from this heavier band of 2 to 5+ inches, and it's going to drop down to almost nothing. And we'll have that ice riding along that boundary. So ice and snow, both a possibility as we go through with regards to that. So keep that in mind. Now, that's a look at the Friday system. Oh, wow. It sounds like somebody sent a picture to the website here. Melissa, did you send a picture? Northern lights are starting to clear. I'm going to take a look. I'll take a look because that's fun. We'll do that together after the forecast. Then system number 2 on Friday. Most of North Dakota, very quiet except for far southeastern North Dakota. Sneaking over here, Pedro. Okay, now we've got from Fergus Falls, Wheaton, and on in towards Brainerd and Duluth, heavy bands of snow. So between Fargo and Grand Forks and between Fargo and Sioux Falls, we're going to have a band of heavy snow make its way through. And south of those areas, we could get some icing as well. So keep that in mind. How much, Hutch? How much? Let's take a look. That narrow band of heavy snow is going to be in that 2 to 5 inch category, but a few places will get the plus sign. And if you like snow, that's good. If you don't like snow, I'm sorry. Now, Fargo should be on the northern fringe of this. I'm not expecting significant snow in the FM area from this. But because it's so far out and doesn't really take place until Saturday in the afternoon hours, I'm going to reserve the final forecast. This is just a look at the potential for now, if that makes sense. All right, hutchesweather.com. Hutchesweather.com is a wonderful place for you and me to all go and check out the latest with regards to what's going on in the skies over the valley. So as I take a look here at our at the website and look at the photos uploaded, I'm just going to take a quick peek, and yep, I got a brand new photo from one Melissa Smith, and wow, those are some vibrant Northern Lights, Melissa. Thank you. Are you ready to see these? This photo just uploaded by Melissa Smith. Out and about and checking it out all right now. And here's what this is looking like. And let's see what area we're in tonight. Union Lake. Are you kidding me? Look at that. That definitely doesn't look like it's ready for swimming. Not much open water there, but I can tell you what, that sky view is absolutely stunning, Melissa. Thank you for sharing. So for those of you in the northern part of the valley, the Northern Lights are out. Breaking news, the Northern Lights are out. Go ahead and share this and do a @everyone there in the, I'll go ahead and see if I can do this as well. Followers. All right, so if people were watching and they want to see what's going on, Northern Lights are out and about again tonight up north. Go ahead and upload your photos here to hutchesweather.com. And last but not least, I want to remind you that tomorrow is a Hutch's Weather Kid kind of night. And that means you get to meet Hutch's Weather Kid this week. And I can't wait to have you meet, oh my goodness, Francis Farnan, a junior cloud expert, I might add. That'll be the topic we're covering tomorrow. So make sure you tune in and give these kids a big pat on the back by commenting on Facebook, liking on Facebook, and just, you know what? They always never cease to amaze me with their bravery in going in. And what was that? No, you, what was that? Oh, how do you sign up to be a Hutch's Weather Kid? That's a really good question. I happen to have a couple of friends of mine that have shared with me how to sign up. Let me play that for you right now.
Being a Hutch's Weather Kid is fun. Look at all the sunshine. You get to learn about the weather.
To sign up, head on over in person to Luther Family Ford near I-29 and the 32nd Street exit, or head over to hutchesweather.com/weatherkid.
The best part about being Hutch's Weather Kid to tell people about the weather.
And you can get free stuff. You really should sign up today.
All right, so some experts there who have been through the process before sharing with you. Good deal. You can sign up today. You can take home some fun prizes and have fun talking about the weather. Brenda says hi to Pedro and Leo, and they both say hi to you. Again, the forecast update, we do have 7 days of interesting weather on the way. The warmest for many of us will be tomorrow. We'll be very close to that in Fargo on Friday, but up north, we have a winter system working its way through from first thing in the morning, ice up north, first thing in the morning, and then it will work its way across northern Minnesota throughout the midday hours. So keep that in mind. And then it will snow along the international border for the better part of the day. Some of you could get some significant measurable snow, over 2 inches. Then on Saturday, an Alberta Clipper works its way through as we go through some changes. April 1st and 2nd, Hutch is monitoring a winter weather event then as well. It's over my shoulder over here, and we'll keep you posted on that. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson, appreciating each and every one of you with regards to our weather and weather for the week. Thank you again for your support right here. And you can also support me by clicking the follow button on Facebook, the subscribe button right here on YouTube, and thank you so very much. Have a wonderful night, and we'll talk again tomorrow morning.